Hey everybody, it's Aaron here with Robert, and welcome to Get Your Geek On. And this is our review of Ms. Marvel Episode 1 on Disney Plus.
Woohoo!
So,
We are here.
yes.
Our brand new Marvel series, live action Miss Marvel with Kamala Khan. And yeah, I mean, Aman Vellani. Aman Vellani is the title character of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. And then we're populated. We get her best friend, her family. Kind of maybe her rival there at the school. That kind of thing. And so yeah, I mean, this was a lot of fun. We are going to be talking spoilers. Although I don't know that there's a whole lot to spoil in this episode. Honestly, we got our first episode. This is a very setup episode where we get introduced to our main people. We get our kind of, this is now she has powers at the very end, and we can kind of see what maybe some of the conflicts are going to be as the story is going on. So how did you like the first episode?
So at first I was a little iffy on it, but then I was telling what, I'm actually going to take a step back. I'm going to say this for all of those who are bad mouthing it about anything because it's a woman, religion, whatever, get the heck out of here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Also, if you're like, oh, blah, 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 like they're not following the storyline, I will say this, think of it from a kid's perspective, from a child's perspective. As adults, we see things differently. And I got, I don't know if you watched it with your kiddo. I got the enjoyment of seeing it with my kiddo, who is closer to this character's age.
Yeah.
Than I mean, I'm, in my mid 30s and she's a lot younger. So it's like, okay, well, she connected with it better than I did, I would say.
I think it's okay to say that, more so than most of the MCU, Miss Marvel is made for a younger audience.
Exactly.
And I will say that this feels like the MCU approach to a Spider-Man type character, right? Where we have a teenager who's still learning about themselves, getting to know just who they are in general. Now they have powers, and how are they going to navigate their home life, their school life,
exactly,
their, all those things. That's a very Spider-Man-esque trope.
Exactly.
We obviously didn't get our actual Spider-Man origin in the MCU. So this is kind of the first opportunity we've had to explore a young character, a teenager who's attending school, and seeing their origin. We saw that with Spider-Man. We saw 3 movies of him in high school, and we saw him trying to balance, but we didn't actually see how it began. So this is kind of like our opportunity to see, like, from start to finish. It's going to be a very coming of age story, it feels like. And yeah, I will agree, we're not necessarily the target audience for this character and this series.
Exactly. And the reason I bring all that up is because I'm seeing people get mad at it, for a multitude of reasons. And so when I watched it this first time, for the first few minutes, I was kind of disconnected, I will say. But then I saw my kiddo watching it, and I'm like, how would I feel if I was a kid? And I had to switch that mindset almost mid-episode. Okay. And then I started liking it, because I was like, how would I feel at 16? I mean, I'm going to say this, I was the loner in school. I was more of the outcast even, and the person who was like into comics, into video games. And yeah, I had those closer friends that's like, oh yeah, we hung out, we did our thing. This hit when you started thinking that way, like, how were you in the high school? And I'm pretty sure, if no offense to anyone out there, if you were the popular one or the jocks or, everybody, you may not connect with it as well, because you don't remember the stuff that some of us had saw growing up, especially if you're a minority facing other things, So once I switched that mindset, though, like I said, I actually enjoyed it. Once I started thinking, I don't know these characters, erase the movie stuff that I've learned and grown up with, because she only knows what's been told to her by Scott Lang in his podcast.
I like that.
So she knows only so many things. And because of that, she hasn't grown to love, and, she hasn't had 20 years like we all have of loving these characters. She has a few years, and she loves Ms. Marvel and what she represents and how she is. And I liked it. I honestly liked it. I do like the tweaks we've done with her powers, because originally she was almost a clone of Mr. Fantastic's powers with some other added abilities. And now they've really taken those powers and we've throw them to the wind, essentially, or not throw them the wind, but be expanded. There we go. We expanded on what she can do and how she does it. Because she's not Mr. Fantastic, who's essentially made of rubber. She is, imbued with power cosmic, I'll say, at least. And I like that we get a lot of that. I don't know. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed the dynamic. I enjoyed the character. And again, I think whenever I like to watch this show, I have to switch that mindset. I'm not an adult who's watched 20 years of Marvel movies and love these characters and love these people. I'm a 16-year-old kid who's still trying to find his way in life, who's still trying to go through high school, who's kind of been in her boat where it's like you're the loner, where people make fun of you and they kind of like just glare at you. And it's like, oh, I've had stuff like that where it's like you're trying to get to your locker. And I remember trying to go and there's people standing in front of them like, hey, excuse me, I'm just want to get my book. And they just glare at you. It's like, you're the one in my way. Like, I just need to get just 2 steps, dude. Like, come on. And then they finally move, but they glare at you the whole time. It's like, I remember that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I think, one of the things that stood out was, yes, they have obviously updated her powers. But I think what was important about her powers in the comics is, number one, that it was tied into who she was. It was part of her DNA, right? As an Inhuman, it was you are special in this way because of who you are at your core. And so I think that they're still honoring that with a lot of hints towards this is something that runs in her family. This is something, like we get a lot of allusions to Nani being this free thinker, this person who, like is kind of out there and all that stuff. And even her mom, when she brings out that bangle, is like, that's junk. Like, but she clearly recognizes it. And so like, I think that they are honoring that portion of it where this is part of who you are. This is your legacy. This is that bangle. That bangle is not going to work with anyone. It's going to work with you. And so I think that that's part of it. And then, like the actual representation of her abilities, instead of like being, okay, I can, make my arm reach across the room and then it shrinks back down into my arm, having it be like a cosmic extension that then, kind of disappears almost like Spider-Man's webs, like it just, okay, I used it for that and now it's gone. And I think that works. I will agree with you that this is a story about about a teenager, and that's an awkward stage for most people, even the popular people. Like that's still an awkward stage. You're still learning who you are. You're still trying to navigate your relationship with your parents, your relationship with the teachers, you like all of those things. And I just honestly, I enjoyed a lot of this episode. I enjoyed the setup. I enjoyed her relationship with her parents, that kind of feeling like they don't understand who I am. They're trying to make me be one way and I want to be something different, but clearly you can see that they still love each other very much. Like that scene with, like where they're like, we're going to let you go and you could dress up like the Hulk and your dad's going to go, like that was heartbreaking on so many levels. Yeah. Because like you can see that they're trying to make an effort. They're trying to, like connect with her on this thing that she loves, but it's clearly not what she wants. And, like everybody gets hurt in that scene, like, exactly. And it's heartbreaking. It's like, like you feel for everybody. I
agree on that one. Like that was kind of sad.
Yeah. I loved, like her little, very short driving test like that. That made me laugh. And I didn't catch it. I watched it twice. I didn't catch it the first time, but as she's preparing for her driving test and her mom is telling her like check the mirrors every 15 seconds, all this stuff, and then the dad is like, life's too short to completely stop at stop signs. And I was like,
you wanted to use a turn signal at every turn?
Terrible advice. Yes. Like I was loving all of that. And again, I thought they really paid a lot of respect to the culture, even like not just with the conversations between her and her parents about the costume, because modesty is such an important component of that culture that tight-fitting clothes are a no-go. Like they wear loose-fitting clothes. And so even when she's by herself and she's looking at herself in the mirror and she's kind of like, testing out the outfit, you can see that she's uncomfortable with, what, and she like, is, and so I just thought like even the very brief scene where it's, kind of the gym scene and it shows her like in the locker room with the other girls and she's like completely covering up. And, there's other girls that are just kind of walking around in like their, their underwear, their whatever. And it wasn't like gratuitous. It wasn't weird, or at least I didn't think so. But, like you could see that that's an important component of who she is, which I think will inform what her eventual outfit looks like. Because it is more loose fitting. It is more, it's going to cover everything, that kind of thing. And so I like that they're paying respect to the religion, to the culture, to the characters. And they're not treating any of it as a joke. They're portraying a very real struggle that a teenager has with, I love it's junior year and here's all these things. And I'm like, I remember when I was a junior and the guidance counselor and all the teachers and everybody was like, this is the most important year of your life. Everything that happens after this all depends on this year. And you're like, I'm 16. Like, what the heck are you talking about? So I appreciated that. Like all of that was hitting home for me. And again, I enjoyed it. I liked the final conversation between her and her mom when she gets home and the mom is really trying to, say like, you got to think about who you're going to be. And it's time for you. It's time for you to grow up is basically what she said. Like, you need to leave this childhood fantasy behind. You need to grow up. And so I liked all of it. I thought it was a great opening episode. Obviously, we're going to have to see where the rest of the series goes, see how, everything else plays out. But establishing a new character, having it be like this fangirl of the MCU. She loves all these same superheroes we love. And even like I've seen some behind the scenes stuff with Iman Vellani, the actual actress. She also like is a huge fan of the MCU. Like that was one of the things, like she loves all these movies well before she even got cast. Like that's right. And so it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, it feels really authentic. It feels really pure, and is something that I really enjoyed this first episode. I had a blast that I watched it twice, like I said, and I really enjoyed it.
It was, like I said, it was a good episode. I truly enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to start off a new character, because that's what we're doing. We're starting with this new character, and at the end of the day, you don't know a lot about her. She's kind of one of the newer ones, more of the teenage heroes running around with like not Richard Ryder, Sam Nova, or Sam who's Nova. I'm trying to think of all the younger ones I see her with, and I can't remember all of them all of a sudden. I just remember Nova because I love Nova. But yeah, it's like, this is geared for kids. People, I remember seeing some comments already, and one of them was on our page. Oh, they keep canceling our comics because it's not popular. Well, it's not popular for adults because it's not written for us. She's more popular for this. And they realized like, hey, if we put all of our teen ones together, they work better. And it does. That comic's still going. So it's like, not all of them are canceled, dude. Like, it's one of those, we just got to find the right audience, and how do you portray it to the right audience? And they're doing it right. I did like the scene, like you said, she was uncomfortable with it. I did that, like she put that shawl, I guess it would be, like kind of around her waist to kind of hide. Like, hey, I shouldn't be showing off my assets like that. So I'm gonna cover up more.
And that's also an homage to the original Carol Danvers outfit, which we saw, like her friend Zoe was kind of wearing a mix of the two. It was like in outline, like in terms of like what it covered and that kind of thing. And then she was wearing the sash. It looked just like the original Miss Marvel outfit. Right. Then it had the colors of everything that's the Captain Marvel outfit. So it was like kind of a mix of two. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job. Obviously, there's tons of Easter eggs. I mean, they go to Avenger Con. So there's just so many Easter eggs. I will say I loved her little montage of, what the plan was, what they were going to do.
That was funny to me.
And what I really liked in that montage is, this is her fantasy. And so in that fantasy, in that montage, her suit is like, movie quality. It's the, the actual, like, okay, this is a Captain Marvel suit. And, her friend has like a Tony Stark kind of, beard and all that. Like he's, and then you see the actual one, and it's still like, it's still a very good costume, but it's obviously not at that level. He's kind of, he's not even doing the Tony Stark. He's doing like the Bruce Banner.
And so the lab coat on, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, I liked that it was like, here's my fantasy, which is just a little bit, like everything's perfect in the fantasy.
How did we jump the bus or something? Doesn't even comment on.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. And I will say, man, like that bus driver is a dick.
Dude, I don't ride the bus because I have issues with it myself personally. But I'm like, are they that much of a jerk? Like, just you open it for like half a second for her to pull it in. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've ridden the bus before. I've never biked to the bus. I've never had to like bring something bulky onto the bus with me. So I've never necessarily been in that situation. But yeah, I mean, like literally just closing the door on her and her being like, just please open the door. That's my bike. And like, I mean, we don't even get a shot of the bus driver like saying no or anything. Like we literally just stay on her and her disappointment, as clearly the bus driver's like, screw you, I got a schedule to keep and I'm going.
Right. Like he was just like, I'm done with you. Let's go. We're gonna go and you're gonna get there.
Like bye bike. You're not gonna have that anymore.
No, yeah, here it's gone. I did like the gloves though that he made for her. I thought those were kind of cool.
Yeah.
And now going into that last scene, after the bikes and all that, we get to see it, and we get to see her powers show off because she gets the bracelet on and she shows it off. And I want to know what you thought of the way they portrayed him. Like, we do see this stretching, we do see kind of like a light show, I guess is the best way for me to put that, with like mirror, kind of mixed with the mirrorverse look to it. But what did you think of like them saying like, oh, here's her powers now?
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with it. I don't have a huge connection to the character and her power set from the comic. So I thought it was interesting. The part that really I thought was the most interesting was when she first has the power kind of going through her, and then the camera does this thing where it like flips and like it looks like everybody's like in a shadow realm or something, and then it flips again, and like we're back in our regular. And like that was something where I was like, wait, what did we just see? And I think we're going to explore that more moving forward.
Yes,
but
so.
I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I didn't have any problem with it. And I like the way that they're bringing in the character we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home, the Department of Damage Control. Is going to come in and
right?
Yeah, going to come in and investigate, what's going on with this teenager. So that's where the inciting incident is going to come in. Like, are they going to show up at her house and like her parents are like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of the parents, did that hit you, the scene where it's like the mom is there and is like, I don't know who you're becoming kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I thought that scene was great.
I loved it because I was like, that actually hit. That was perfect. So I don't know. Overall, can't wait to see more of it. I'm excited for where this is going to go. I really am. So definitely check out youtube.com/officialgygo so you can see where we're going to have it going, and let us, we're going to give you our opinion and let us know what you think of it all, because I'm invested. I can't wait to see where they're going to go. Have they mentioned the villain? I can't remember who the villain's going to be.
No, I mean, they haven't. And so I have no idea if we're going to get a powered villain, or is it just going to be like, again, her kind of coming to terms with, who she is and her powers and her family as the government is trying to, track her down. Yeah, I don't know.
Government things.
Right.
Government being a government.
The government being the, kind of the dickheads that they are.
Exactly.
I said it.
Exactly. So definitely check them all out, guys, and stay tuned to all of it. On that note, I'm Aaron. That's Robert that way. And this is Get Your Geek On. And, well, stay geeky and get your geek on, guys.
Bye.